I will let you go ahead and take it away for Team Roketo.
Okay, Team Roketo. Actually, go ahead and put me those names in just to see them one more time. One of the teams from Puerto Rico taking on one of the teams in North America here in the next round. The captain of the team, as soon as I have it on my side, I will tell you
Yeah, I'm trying to find
right
it.
about now. But let's go ahead and just talk about Darkara. No, it's okay. No
No,
problem at
no,
all.
oh, yeah,
Magic
there
Art
it is.
Plan. Now we're seeing it. Captain Mordu, top laner Cygnus, jungle Cocodrilo, support Justicia, defender Mango Worm, and the subs are going to be Samu Pokemon and just Yuzu. Good, rarely coordinated teams. One of those up and coming teams in our region as well. They're really looking to have something to prove when it comes to this league overall, but they do have quite a hill to climb this time around, Rhino.
Quite a hill for that indeed. And as I'm trying to get this set up here for the next teams, all I can say is Dark Aura. Dark Aura is a force to reckon with. They've been around for a very, very, very long time, and I've played against them. I've seen them in action, and I can only say that this game is going to be very, very interesting for Dark Aura. And as I'm trying to find Dark Aura again, let me see. There it is. We have the captain, Get Yoshi himself, with the top laner, Mahalan G, right? Is that what we kind of decided on? Because I did not get a message from them.
Malanaki?
Yeah, there you go.
Malanaki?
That one. With the flex with Gallandite 74, the attacker for Rat Cube. Support can't stop him. And then they have free subs, Jakuri 15, Voltage, and Archer Dude 23. So right now, I'm very excited to see the way that these two teams from hopefully they watched the first two matches and kind of seeing what possibly is really good right now as far as in this picks and bans phase.
They're telling me in chat to say mall, so I'm gonna just say mall instead of the whole
We're
Malanaki or
saying
Malanakai,
mall.
or we're saying mall.
We're
Okay.
saying mall.
Who dat Chris? Thank you so much for the suggestion, and we will take that into consideration, and we will do that. But again, Team Roketo does have quite a challenge ahead of them versus Dark Aura. And the pick and ban phase can be very indicative of how this is going to be played out. We saw it beforehand, Sableye and Bleacy being priority bans. This time around, we did see Gardevoir bans and other bands that actually went on to there. Dodrio actually being one of those surprise bands that we can talk about on the analyst desk next Tuesday, because yes, we are streaming currently a couple of matches, but we also do other type of content related to the league on Tuesdays. We will be doing those analyst desks, talking about the matchups, how the meta is going to be currently going, and then on Wednesdays is going to be super fun, right now, right?
Wednesday is going to be super fun next week, and all I can say is, chat, you're getting a treat. You're going to have myself playing next Wednesday that you guys can easily play with me, and we can talk and have fun. If you are bad in the chat, I will never have you back. So I just want to let you know that we're going to be very professional and very, very adequate to everybody and being nice as well. We're not going to put bad shame to anybody unless you're playing Scyther. So do not play Scyther next week. I would lovely and greatly appreciate that.
Okay. They were giving us the pronunciation of Malanaki, so I think I was saying it correctly.
I believe.
Malanaki? Was that what I said? Can y'all correct me on that? Because I did say Malenakai, but I didn't, that didn't sound right. So let's just go for Mall. But it is
I
Malanaki.
like Maul. I definitely
Maul is
100%
nice.
Maul.
Oh, Malanaki. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So what do you expect from this matchup, Rhino?
Honestly, I see, and like I said, it's me knowing a lot more of what these teams can bring and what these teams are. I would want to mostly see Cinderace. Like I want to see Cinderace banned. I don't really think Greninja is that great to be banned. I really feel Cinderace is so underpicked right now. I'm surprised it wasn't 100% banned or even 100% picked so far. So it's kind of weird to see that already in the first two games. So I'm kind of hoping that we see that and kind of see what we could do as far as trying to do some target bans if they've looked up some of these characters or some of these players themselves and watched their streams or whatnot, and hopefully gathered around from what they have.
Yeah, the thing about Cinderace is that a lot of people use him, and because a lot of people use him, most of the win rate actually depends on the players that don't know how to use him. So it's a popular Pokemon overall. So most of the time when you actually go into solo queue, you go into master rank, most of the time, if not 75% of the time, the Cinderace that you have is going to be garbage. So most of the people already assume that the character is not going to have the potential that it does really have until they see it in the hands of somebody from pro scene. As soon as they see a Cinderace actually pop off, they want to experiment. Actually, want to use them in in matches in ranked matches. And then when they actually realize that they can't use them, they're like, okay, well at least I'm using one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite Pokemon. So I feel like that's like the scrutiny, if you will, that Cinderace does have. It is a very strong jungler. It is a very strong jungler, and like you said, Rhino, it could merit a ban, but it really depends on who is going to be using it.
Who's going to be using them indeed, and in the way that we saw Jess on that Azumarill last game, I can only imagine possibly Azumarill getting banned. That Pokemon alone has just to unite up pretty much every 45 seconds. It's such a great unite, and as far as getting in there and engaging in aquatailing right away, it's such a great utilization as far as starting off team fights as well. And I'm excited to see that Pokemon possibly rise into this matchup as well. Um, Another Pokemon that I would love to see is possibly Dodrio in the fray, but I feel like it's probably going to get banned.
Good reason to. The burst is way too much. Most of the carries are always going to feel in danger of it overall, as we're getting into the long-awaited pick and ban phase. And the first ban from Team Roketo, unfortunately, Rhino, not for you, is going to be the Dodrio.
Yep, not for me is right. Dodrio banned right freaking away, and I'm hoping that this page just refreshes because boy are they moving through this very quick. Dark Aura seems like they know what they're going into, and it looks like they're gonna go ahead and ban Blissey and Sableye right away, and that right there we kind of already expected as from the first two games.
Yeah, make sure that the screen is visible on your side as we're seeing Blizzy Sableye
Yep.
actually coming in and waiting for the other bands. Yeah, basically the same band, three bands that we saw beforehand, but in a different order.
In a different order indeed. I'm very I just don't see why. As much as I love Sableye, I just do not like that ban pick. I just feel like something else could be banned as far as like Mamo or something. And as we see, I'm hoping this refreshes right away. I'm doing it as quickly as they pick and ban. It's just not showing up on my end for some odd reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm not even taking off the screen. I'm on the screen. Okay, so we have Team Rocketto with Greninja as their second ban, and then Mr. Mime as their first pick.
A Greninja is definitely going to be a curious pick, and I think it might be because of the stigma that Greninja has in our region. I think Junti from War Legion can do numbers around anybody with Greninja, and people considering it such a top pick, it could be some sort of adaptation to our scene. That could potentially actually hinder a little bit of our strategy coming into the pick and ban phase. But actually doing a really good job at picking Mr. Mime first. One of the best laners in the game, one of the best Pokemon in the game, even though they keep nerfing it, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be relevant in however they use it.
Relevant indeed, and with Blissey and Sableye taken out as far as like how our ban phase is, Mr. Mime is definitely just the number one pick after that. To be honest, it's definitely that one or Eldegoss, and I feel like Mr. Mime is probably above Eldegoss right now.
Gonna
As
be El.
we Yeah,
Go ahead.
as we see with Dark Aura, we have Mamoswine and Snorlax as their next two picks right away.
Damn. Yeah. I would ban Mamoswine every single time. Honestly, I would put honestly like a little bit of a hot take. I would put Mamoswine over Mr. Mime in my pick and ban phase. So I would go like a Blissey, Sableye, Mamoswine. It is way too oppressive when you try to play with that Pokemon in lane, and when you have two tanks, especially Snorlax, that's actually going to start invading your jungle. It's going to be so difficult for Team Rocket to actually move around the map and actually level up.
it, you are absolutely correct on that. I feel like the Greninja pick is probably something that they could put on Mamo instead, and this is for teams that are going, further. Like, if you have games later on, definitely listen because this could be something that could be a hassle later on. But if you're wanting Mamoswine on your own team, don't ban them. So it's kind of like you're playing with fire, you're playing with heart, and as I see Team Roketo, they pick Urshifu. Urshifu, we get to see for the very first time in the Unite Coordination League. I'm super stoked to see this Pokemon. As we also see a Zoomerol picked as well for Team Roketo, and then Dark Aura chooses Delphox.
Oh my god.
Gosh,
Oh my
Delphox.
god. Oh my god. Okay, so not bad picks by Team Roketo. Urshifu is definitely going to be interesting, especially with the burst that they can give you. And obviously the next Pokemon that they pick was actually really good, which is Zoomerl. We saw the previous set or the previous match actually Zoomerl dominating most of it. But when you have Delphox paired up with a Mamoswine and a Snorlax in lane, how in God's green earth are you going to be able to get onto that Firefox?
yeah,
How?
I think the only way you possibly could is if you have the Azumarill loop around and to get back there. And as they take Dark Aura bans Cinderace right as their third pick, and I was just gonna say that would be the only Pokemon that I could see that can get back there.
Yeah, not much of a backline after that, and they already banned Greninja, so most of the attackers that are going to be able to go into them are going to be non-existent. The rest that you're going to be having in these types of scenarios would be a speedster. We saw Gengar was not really used to a good effect in the previous match. What other speedsters are we going to have left? Absol is it's a Pokemon that you were high on, right, Rhino, when we were actually discussing it?
Yes, I was actually very, very high on Absol, and I feel like this it could really work in this meta to the fact of being a really, really late pick. If you have if you can easily get the early gank on from the Absol and just get early kills, especially an early kill on a Delphox or even on a Cinderace early, you can scale up so high. Yeah, it's kind of bad late game, but if you can choose Pokemon that are really good late game as your team comp goes along, there's certain ways where that team comp can just end up shredding and shred entirely.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So let's see what's going to happen for the next band. Do you have the other
the
one, Rhino?
the next ban is definitely Aegis Slash right away from Team Rocketto. So they have Dodrio, Greninja, Aegis Slash, and on Dark Aura they have Blissey, Sableye, Cinderace.
Interesting ban of the Sable. I was seeing the Decidueye actually being the next pick for Dark Aura. Again, it Decidueye with the rapid fire scarf has been seeing a lot more play, especially with the Razor Leaf composition. However, there has been a lot of popularity surrounding attack weight and using Spirit Shackle as much as possible to get that distance away and just start poking from a distance. And it would make sense in this composition as well, considering the fact that Delphox can actually keep them away and actually set them up with the fire spin. Even though it's not my preferred move, I do prefer actually having the mobility of the other move that you pick. Do you remember the name by any chance? It's Mystical Fire and Instead of fire spin, you pick the other one that's it's like a dash. What was that called again?
Flame charge.
Flame charge. Flame charge. I do prefer the mobility of actually having flame charge. Fire spin could actually set up with some really good spirit shackle combinations.
Spirit shackle
Thank you, Ken.
combinations is right. And as we see right now, we have a Mew pick on Team Roketo. And I'm kind of going, wow, I guess Urshifu would be their jungler in this. Okay, so they got Mew and Slowbro as their
Ooh,
final two picks. Slowbro, take it away.
okay.
I can't.
Mew, Slowbro. Yeah. Okay. So Urshifu jungle, they could try to get a Zoom World jungle too, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be pretty reliable. And you would want to have early levels and strong Pokemon with early levels right at the beginning of the match. But Mr. Mime Mew, great combination of characters, some of the best in the game. Slowbro has been seeing a lot of play as of late, Rhino. Like I have seen Slowbros that can take over a game just by using Scald and nothing else.
The
Um,
factor with Scold though right now, as you just mentioned, that
mhm,
it could really slow down this Delphox, and for the Azumarill to possibly actually hop on that Delphox to kill it right away, as it doesn't have the greatest health pool. So yes, it has a great skating abilities to get away from all the Pokemons that Team Rocket has chosen, but they went ahead and chose a Mew to get away from the Delphox as well, with a Slowbro possibly being able to to pick it up with its ult. I really like the comp from Team Roketo to deal with this Delphox Decidueye as their frontline.
okay. And we are seeing that the Decidueye, even though it's getting picked right now, it does not have any type of room to escape unless they use X speed or eject button. And we do know that Shadow Sneak is a thing, but the movement speed of it is not enough to actually be any type of factor. So Decidueye would actually be effectively a moving turret, which in long team fights, especially when you have a front line as good as Snorlax and Mamoswine, can do a lot of heavy damage. But it's really going to depend on how they target each Pokemon. If the Azumarill could actually use the Unite move to hit and target the corresponding Pokemon, then they can find themselves an opportunity to actually try to get the lead in those team fights. I would still prefer Dark Aura's composition as we wait for the last pick.
The last pick is going to be Lucario. It seems like somebody else is clicked on to that particular box, so I'm going to have to possibly click for them as there it is. And yeah, they choose Lucario as their fifth pick, and I really like the Lucario into this comp, as Power Up Punch could really be a nuisance here.
Okay, and how else do you believe that Lucario can actually fit with the rest of the team? Because it seems like we have a good idea on the Snorlax Mamoswine, and then you have the backline of Delphox and Decidueye. You would think that then Lucario would actually be the flank that they need to actually just push the other team in to all the damage that they're going to be dealing.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that Delphox has, like I said from before, has that skating ability where they can get away. Mamoswine and Snorlax can also provide that CC for Lucario to get that power up punch in. So if they could get to that back line very easily, or even get to the front line, that power up punch can easily shred their health bars so quick, and to make it to where they just can't do anything after that.
Alrighty. Now that we have seen the compositions, you did say that you were a fan of Team Roketo, but I'm gonna put you on the spot, Rhino. Who do you think is taking game number one?
Honestly, with the way that the picks are going right now, if Decidueye is Razor Leaf, I have to possibly go towards Dark Aura. If they don't choose Razor Leaf and they're more of the Spirit Shackle type, I'm gonna go really towards Team Roketo here, because Slowbro
Okay.
can easily shut down the Delphox, while Decidueye, yes, can get that poke damage out there. but it's gonna die so quick to this Azumarill. It's gonna die so quick to the Urshifu. Mime can easily go and take care of that. Yeah, you have a good front line from Mamoswine Snorlax to set up those Spirit Shackles, but it really, I don't see the Spirit Shackle working. If it's Razor Leaf, this could be a whole different issue. But if it's Spirit Shackle, it's definitely going to cause problems for Dark Aura, as they're not going to possibly get that damage off quick enough, as they are doing just a lot of front end damage to them.
Another observation would be the one that Greeny team actually mentioned in chat, which is Skull might be good burst for Slowbro, but Surf would actually let him get past the front lines of Decidueye or Fox for the ulti. So it's really going to depend on how you are going to build your Pokemon and how you are going to maneuver around the tanks and front line from Dark Aura, which is part of the reason why I would prefer Dark Aura's composition in the first place. Lucario could be an X factor as it's dealing with the Urshifu from Team Roketo's side.
Right.
But I think that this time around for this second match, the teams are actually a lot more even in the draft phase, I feel.
Yes, 100% in the draft phase. Last game, I think the Super Squirtle Squad definitely lost into picks and bans. I feel like they probably have to start focusing on possibly playing more Mons and getting that comfort to where they can build actual cops together. But this right here is just, it seems more sound. It felt like they knew what they were going to go into and what they were going to play up against with it. Like I said, the Slowbro pick and that Mew pick into, like, when they picked that Delphox, picking those two, I'm like, they know what they're going into. Like, they know that Pokemon, they know how to deal with it, and this is how they're gonna deal with it. And that right there is massive for Team Roketo. That's why I'm kind of going towards them. But this Decidueye pick is drawing me towards Dark Aura in the sense of knowing what they're gonna choose.
It's gonna be super fun. Dark Aura, Team Roketo. We're just about ready to set up everything, right, Rano?
Yep, absolutely. And we are going into game one of the last pair of games here. And like I said, I have the wrong names up, but I am going to change it. So don't worry about that. We are going to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to go into, let me find out who's on what side. Keto is on the left side and Lee is on the right side. So there we go. And it is game time indeed. Real Jess and Bridget, thank you guys very much for you guys hanging out. I really greatly appreciate it. You guys have been awesome and wonderful in the Twitch chat. I can't stress it enough. All of these games will be live on, or will be recorded and put onto YouTube as well. So if you guys missed out on any games, you guys can go back and watch it on that as well. But yeah,
So
man, go ahead.
From the teams, we're actually seeing a couple of changes into the subs. Samu Pokemon actually going into it with the Slowbro. Cocodrilo actually picking up the attack weight. Scope Lens for most, if not the majority of the attackers are going to be in play. And as I'm seeing right now, it seems like Jakuri 15 was using the Decidueye on Dark Aura's side is actually going for attack weight. So it would appear to me that they're actually going Spirit Shackle instead of Razor Leaf.
And you could be 100% correct on that. And I just want to see, and this is exactly what I've been wanting. Please, put him in jungle. I know he's probably better in lane, but I just feel like this Pokemon is so strong into the jungle. And as you have the Slowpoke helping them out, and you got, what can I see? Oh, a successful invade with the huge steal. You can't stop him. You can't see them. And he just goes ahead and takes that fat red buff away from Team Roketo.
Okay, they're going to get the blue buff too. Slowbro is doing his best to actually get it. No, actually the Slowbro manages to get it from the Snorlax, so it is going to delay a lot of the leveling up from the Urshifu. And like you mentioned, the Decidueye jungle could be a great opportunity for them if it were not for the fact that Delphox is actually jungling this time around. I think it's very important to get that Delphox as early to level 9 as possible so they can feel comfortable when it comes to all-around play. As we're seeing the bottom side actually trying to fight each other against the Altaria and Swablues. We're seeing them going in one more time. Dakar just pushing them right in. First few kills done by Dark Aura to Team Rocket.
Dark Aura is right, and they went ahead and chose the power-up punch like I wanted. Lucario is such a menace with that power-up punch. It can easily set up kills, especially when you have a Mamoswine and a Snorlax and just freeze them where they're at and just go right in and just secure everything. The power-up punch is such a great move right now in this meta, and the way it's gonna work out. Oh, almost gets the kill from the boosted, and he's running away happy. I love it when he smiles and runs away.
Snorlax, such a good tank. Doing such a good job as well, just invading the jungle as much as possible as we go into the 8-minute mark. See the Altarias and Swablues in a team fight actually breaking out, going into everything. Samu is actually right in the middle of 3 members of Dark Aura, and he gets taken down by the Piloswine as they're trying to defend the bottom half of the map. But Lucario continues to get upwards and stack as much as they possibly can too.
Yeah, leaving Lucario up there by himself and just being able to get those free stacks is definitely huge for Lucario, and I can't stress it enough. Having that power-up punch, it could just take everything. Literally, it's such a great pick. I can't believe the way these teams have done their picks and bans, and I just can't. With a huge pick onto the Mr. Mime from Jakuri, such a great pick. I believe he is Spirit Shackle, so we'll see how the rest of this game goes. He's gonna fall off late game, but we'll see how well they can get into this backline with this huge front line from the Mamo and Snorlax.
Defending the bottom half of the map, Regieleki is going to be up, and the composition that we're currently seeing as we get into the team fight with the Regirock, it's looking like it's going to be a 4-1 scenario, which is pretty popular when it comes to compositions like that. The all-rounders usually being 1v1 scenarios upwards to fight for the Regieleki, where the rest are going to be able to team fight. But the Heavy Slam actually come out, Mr. Mime actually taking down the Snorlax as we see Spirit Shackle actually coming out, and the Piloswine doing all the work possible, and we see another snipe, but the Delphox actually takes away the Mr. Mime, and now we're seeing the effects of the composition that Dark Aura actually has, the distance that they can cover, as Team Roketo actually has such a difficulty to get onto those back lines.
Getting onto those back lines, you are absolutely right. This Mamoswine has just been absolutely a menace for this team, as Lucario just went ahead and soloed the Azumarill, wasn't even paying attention, and gets a fat 31 over dunk on the top lane, giving them a 140 to 30 lead.
Still with Regieleki available. So as soon as soon as they finish up fighting there, oh my god, dude, that was clean. The heavy slam onto the eject button just actually try to steal away the farm. That's definitely one way to use Snorlax, and we're seeing pretty solid play overall by Dark Aura.
Dark Aura is just 100% running away with this game and giving this team just, they don't know where to go, they don't know where to be, because this team is just out rotating them and just giving them the ability to just be wherever they want, and trying to separate the team of Roketo is very, very easy to do, as far as, it's a lot of uploaders. So huge massive ult by Get Yoshi.
Oh, that's a KO. Urshifu is actually going to take out 2. The Regieleki's still alive though.
The Regieleki did get taken. Yep, was taken by the Lucario while that fight was going on. But that's a huge double kill for the Urshifu, because it catches up in levels after getting that kill onto the Delphox and the Decidueye.
Even so, we're seeing the level differential right now. Lucario and Delphox actually being ahead by quite a few levels. Lucario already level 12, and we still have a couple of level 8 Pokemon on the side of Team Roketo. So again, farm denial, definitely the name of the game when it comes to competitive play.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not too worried about the 2 Pokemon that have that low level either. With the Mew having level 8, level 9, it's not that great at level 12 anyway, level 12, 13, because it already gets all of its boosted at 10 and 11. As we have a huge fight, huge ult by the Decidueye, could get the pick off on the Justice. Yes, he does. Mordu comes in with its ult and then does a huge hyper beam, and they're just trying to hold off of this cap up here, and they're holding their base and they're doing it very well.
Yeah, Mew's Solar Beam actually doing a lot of heavy damage, and they do manage to defend it as the Reggie is just about to appear. The Reggie Rock is going to be available one more time and trying to do the damage, but again, Delphox's Unite move is so good at just trying to control the space in between the objectives, as we see the snipe of the Mystical Fire and constant use Mystical Fires, Spirit Shackles, Heavy Slams. Oh my, as we're going into the later stages of the game.
Later stages of the game is right, and you have the two best Pokemon that are going to do it for you in that late game, which is Lucario and Delphox. As we have the Mr. Mime down bottom getting chased by the Snorlax, and I believe he's possibly just going to go down here. There's just no way he survives. He can't stop him. You just can't stop him.
Trying to get some more experience in before actually getting onto the rotations for Regieleki, but Team Rocket actually being a little late to the party. Dark Aura trying to speed this one as soon as possible. Yeah, they're not going to be able to contest. This is definitely a Regieleki for Dark Aura.
Regieleki for Dark Aura is correct, and I don't really want to see Roketo try to stop it here. I don't think it's necessary. They're really far ahead. They should just protect this bottom goal zone right now, as it's sitting at 36. It can get a huge overdunk here, and like I said, we see them all getting down here. This is gonna be a huge team fight and an easy kill. This is a huge overdunk. They don't even need Rayquaza right now, as the objective also went in on the top lane. There's the fight. Urshifu goes down. They did use 3 ults as well. Lucario, Mamoswine, and Snorlax, all 3 do not have ults. Zumo just goes down there.
Yep. Mew is pretty much the last one standing, other than the Slowbro from Samus, who uses his Unite move to actually try to stop the Snorlax, but the burst from the Delphox is gonna take him out. Respawn timers are still going to be in play, so Mr. Mime is going to be up, Urshifu as well, but 5 members from Dark Aura trying to defend the Rayquaza this time. They don't really need to do anything other than defend.
No, what they're doing is playing really, really smart here. They knew all they had to do was just let that Regieleki up top go ahead and score and try to just come down to the bottom and get that easy overdunk, as they already saw that the Mime and the Slowbro were trying to deal with that top Regieleki, as they thought that they could do it. And it was a great rotation from both sides, and I don't, like I said, I just don't see why they would do that. Huge Unite from the Decidueye.
A little early could be dangerous if they don't get it. And Urshifu actually takes out the Delphox.
Urshifu gets the Delphox.
Come out.
They should start up this objective right now, as they have 2 members of Dark Aura down.
Oh, Unite move actually coming in from Mr. Mime in the clutch.
Four dead. A huge Spirit Shackle could come away from this Decidueye, but they need to shred this. They are just taking way too long to hit this and kill this. There it goes, 12 seconds left in the game. Can they get an easy 200 points off before this game ends? We get 100 here. We get another 100 here.
Oh my god.
Here's another. There's another.
Oh my god.
Roketo has to take this away from that last push.
Oh my god. That is a clutch play, and it started with the Urshifu, just as we saw at the beginning of the match, Rhino. 370 to 271, we saw the double kill, and we saw the potential of the Urshifu actually getting that carry from the Delphox. They made sure to keep the Decidueye away as soon as possible. The Spirit Shackle was not going to steal it that time. They just wanted to defend, which I believe could have been a missed call by Dark Aura, and just like that, Team Roketo's on the board.
Team Roketo is on the board with the first win of their time in this league. What a great match. We already knew this was going to be a good match from the start, from seeing the picks and ban phase. And all I can say is I am super excited to see what the second match could be. And as somebody said it in the chat, vamos! Let's go! I can't believe it. Wow. Wow. Gotta love Rayquaza.
That's such a good play, and it was such a good game by Dark Aura too, all the way just controlling everything. But again, I did mention it. Decidueye did use their Unite move a little preemptively. That is something that you really need to make sure that you leave it as late as possible. There wasn't any type of decisions to actually be made.
Mhm.
And trying to get a steal, at least with the Unite move, is something that you can do. But again, the Delphox actually getting reach from the backline from the Urshifu really made all of the difference.
The one thing that I was very skeptical and trying to figure out on why they didn't, but why didn't we have the Spirit Shackle try to go for the steal as well? Seeing that there is 5 members up, yeah, you can already kind of tell that it was a game win or a game loss, right? With the amount of the death timers that they were at the end of the game, I just don't see why not try to take that chance and doing it and seeing what you could do, because they don't have a whole lot of Pokemon to get out of that ring. If they're inside that Rayquaza pit, they can't hop out of it. So like it was very weird to see how that Decidueye didn't use the Spirit Shackle correctly.
Yeah, the MVP definitely has to go, as Saxonston is actually mentioning in chat. It has to go to Sickness. Sickness actually getting that Urshifu, while Team Rocket was actually having difficulties when it came to playing the game throughout the match. It was pivotal kills done by Cygnus that actually maintained Roketo and gave him the first game in what we thought was going to be Dark Aura's coming out party. But now we're seeing, Team Roketo actually has a couple tricks up their sleeve, and what type of adaptation Dark Aura is going to look for in game number 2 is going to be quite fascinating. Is the target ban for Urshifu going to be a thing? What else can they bring to the table, just to counteract the clutch? Because that's it. That was clutch by Team Roketo. They dominated everything else, but just fumbled right at the end. And that type of loss, Rhino, as we are competitors, be pretty um it can be pretty difficult for you to actually shake off in the 5 minutes that you actually have to wait for the next game.
Yeah, seeing how you had a dominant start, and right before the Rayquaza, you had a dominant start from literally 10 seconds before Rayquaza spawned, and it was really weird and awkward. Like, yeah, you don't want to go for it, but you also got to be really set up and try to get your frontliners up there. And you had your frontliners up there, but you allowed that Azumarill and that Urshifu to get into the back lane while you're on their Mew. Like, I don't foresee a Mr. or what was it? Yeah, the Mime and the Mamoswine being on a Mew. It just